What's going on, guys? blinkFRO here, and today I'm bringing you another Seattle Seahawks franchise video. This is the playoffs for our very first year, franchise year 1, obviously, as you can see on the top. We are 11-5, actually we finished the season 11-5, which gave us a bye in the playoffs. We're going to take a look at the standings and see who made it to the playoffs. So on NFC, we got the Packers and us, the Seahawks, making it into the bye. If I won last game, if you remember, it was a wild game and I lost in overtime. It wouldn't have made a difference because we got the bye anyways. I guess we had the advantage over the Falcons and the Cowboys due to, I don't know what the tiebreaker is. It's probably conference versus NFC, and then versus, I don't know. I don't know how we won the tiebreaker. Maybe it was points for. But yeah, I think it might be points for because it seems like it's sorted in points for. But anyways, we made it to the playoffs. The Falcons, the Cowboys, Cardinals, and the 49ers made it. So the Cardinals made it by beating us, and the 49ers made it. So that's 3 teams from the NFC West. And then we have the Cowboys. Oh yeah, okay, we already went through that. So on the AFC side, we got the Steelers and Ravens. They both have a bye, right? No, they don't have a bye. Wow, the Jaguars have a bye. That's weird. That is really. How are the Jaguars? Who is their quarterback? But anyways, you got the Ravens, the Texans, the Dolphins, and the Raiders. The Raiders, wow, these are just some bizarre. The Patriots didn't make it. The Jets didn't make it. Well, the Colts didn't make it with Peyton Manning. Who else didn't make it? The Chargers finished 6-10, and the Browns finished 2-14. Sorry about my squeaky controller if you can hear it. Bears missed the playoffs. The Giants missed the playoffs. The Saints were 6-10. Eagles were 6-10. And all the other teams were as expected. So the Browns get the first overall pick in the draft, and then I believe the Vikings. I should probably just sort by NFL. That probably would make more sense. So it would be the Browns, the Vikings, the Rams, then the Bengals. Actually, I think they need a coin toss for this one. But yeah, those are the standings so far. We're just going to take a quick look at the... well, we'll just take a quick look at Pro Bowl. Just see who made it for the Seahawks. And we got Earl Thomas, Marshawn Lynch, Cam Chancellor, Leon Washington as the returner, and Max Unger, our center, who surprisingly made it. I don't know how. And then on the AFC side, doesn't really matter because we are an NFC team. I will be showing you guys the Pro Bowl if you guys want. We're going to take a look at the injury report for our team. So we are fresh. Everyone is off injuries. Hopefully Sidney Rice doesn't get injured for the playoffs because that would suck because he gets injured a lot. And then we're going to take a look at the stats. So we're going to take a look at season stats, and we're going to go over at passing first. And the leading passer, who cares about QB rating? Aaron Rodgers is just going to win it every year anyways. Matt Ryan had 4,556 yards, a ton of yards there. Then Peyton Manning, then Flacco, then Roethlisberger. Matt Ryan led the league in touchdowns. Drew Brees came in second. Rex Grossman led in interceptions. Tavares Jackson second in interceptions. No surprise there. Our team wasn't too good in the passing game. And the team that got sacked the most, or the player that got sacked the most, is Tavares Jackson. And that's saying something, since he didn't play every single game, or at least every minute of every single game. So we need to upgrade our offensive line. Then Marshawn Lynch had 53 more rushes than any other team, or any other player in the NFL. And he finished with almost 600 yards more than any other player. 5.3 yards per carry, which is the most in the league. He had 13 touchdowns, which is tied for second in the league. And average per game, he blew out everyone with almost 40 more yards per game than Maurice Jones-Drew. And the leading fumbler for running backs, Reggie Bush and Jamal Charles. Looking at the receiving stats, Larry Fitzgerald had the most receptions, followed by Roddy White and Brandon Marshall, the now Chicago Bear. Fitzgerald led the league in receptions, or receiving yards, followed by Roddy White, Calvin Johnson Jr., Brandon Marshall. Touchdowns, we got Fitzgerald, then Greg Jennings, Roddy White, Reggie Wayne, and Vincent Jackson. And now we're just going to take a look at the defensive side. And total tackles, we have John Beeson leading the league by 15 tackles, then DeMarcus Ware, then Lance Briggs, then Cameron Wembley. Sacks, we got Chris Long, then Eric Walden, Clay Matthews, so the Packers have a lot of sacks on the season. Robert Ayers, Chris Kelsey, Mario Williams, Brian Thomas. And I'm assuming that our guy is going to be our defensive end, Chris Clemens, because he always seems to get like 1 or 2 sacks per game. Obviously, that's not the case because we would have more than 16, or he would have at least 16 sacks. Earl Thomas led the league in interceptions, tied with Corey Webster. followed by these players. I don't know if we had anyone else up there. Cam Chancellor. And touchdowns. Deflections is always going to be inflated. It's always the team that you are, it seems like, because your team always gets more deflections than everyone else. Forced fumbles. We got LaRon Landry, the hard-hitting. This guy is jacked. I saw a picture of him. I didn't realize how jacked LaRon Landry is. He's, like, insane. It's actually pretty disgusting. Earl Thomas had four forced fumbles on the season. Cam Chancellor had 2 field goal blocks on the season. D'Angelo Hall had 1 safety. I think that was against us. Maybe. Marcus Trufant had 3 touchdowns, which is pretty good. And I think that's good. We might as well just take a look. Leon Washington had the most kick return touchdowns on the season. And a lot of people had 1 punt return for a touchdown. Okay, so the one thing I forgot to check earlier on that update video was team stats. So we're going to take a look at total offense. We came in 3rd, surprisingly. Don't know how that happened. Passing yards, we're probably at the bottom, close to the bottom. Rushing yards per game, no surprise there. We came in 1st by almost 900 more than anyone else. Points per game, we led the league, which means I should probably turn the minutes down. Passing touchdowns, oh wow, we weren't even near the bottom. We finished right in the middle of the pack. Rushing touchdowns, we came in 1st. Sacks allowed 57, that's 15 more than the other team. First downs, we were somewhere in the middle of the pack. And defensive, the best passing defense in the league would be the Chargers. Best overall defense is the Jets. Best rushing defense is the Patriots. And I'm just going to assume we finished in the middle of every single category. Total points against: Steelers, Jags, Ravens were the best. Broncos, no surprise there with the Packers there. The worst against is, I think we finished in the middle of pretty much everything, which is always good. We had the most sacks on the season, and then we got sacked the most times on the season. We had the 3rd most fumble recoveries on the season, most interceptions on the season, and I think that's pretty good. Oh, we'll take a look at penalties, because penalties are always killer. We had 58 penalties on the season. I think about 50 of them were from John Moffitt. Only not. I'm going to resign that guy. He's going to be the face of the franchise. I'm telling you guys right now. Our turnover differential, we had 5 more turnovers than... Oh, we got 5 turnovers instead of giving up. Okay, yeah. You know what I mean. Cool. Alright, that's enough for those stats. I'm sure you guys don't care. If you guys really want to see something, I can show it later on. I think that's it. We don't really need to take a look at anything else. So we're just going to go over to the league schedule and see who wins these matchups. So Texans at Dolphins. You can probably hear my dogs bark. So I'm going to say the Dolphins are going to come away with a win here. And they do. They beat the Texans by 7 points. Then 49ers at the Falcons. I'm going to say Falcons win. And they lose to the 49ers. Raiders at Ravens. Or Ravens at Raiders. I want to say Ravens are going to win. And they do by 2 points. And Cardinals at Cowboys. Oh my god. Cardinals are going to lose by 3 points, which is going to set us up against the Dallas Cowboys, who I believe we beat way back when. We are both 11-15 on the season. And you know what? We might as well simulate these two, just because. So Dolphins at Steelers. I'm going to say that the Steelers are going to come away with the win. When they do, they blow out the Dolphins 28-9. It's not really a blowout. Packers are going to beat the 49ers, I believe, yes. 43-26. Ravens at Jags. I would not be surprised if the Ravens win. And they do, 31-9. And then it's up to us. That's going to be the very next video, which is going to pit us up against the Green Bay Packers. If we win, the winner is going to take on the Green Bay Packers, whether it be the Cowboys or us, the Seahawks. And then we have the Steelers versus Ravens for the AFC title game. So that should be a good game. I think I went over everything pretty well on this. Oh, you know what? One last thing. We're going to take a look at the season stats just for our team. So if we go over to... Oh, this is in alphabetical order, isn't it? Where are we? Am I blind? Oh, there we are. We're going to take a look, and... I said passing. I don't understand why it always has just some random guy throwing a pass. But Tavares Jackson had almost 2,200 yards on the season. Terrell Pryor almost hit 1,000 yards. He had 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And, you know, Tavares Jackson didn't do too well. And Donovan McNabb didn't throw an interception, which is always nice. And then completion percentage. Oh. Percentage. Donovan McNabb completed 60% of his passes, and both Jackson and Pryor both had 45. I want to get more around the 50% area. And we're going to take a look at rushing. Obviously, it was Marshawn Lynch. Leon Washington had 329 yards. Tavares Jackson had a bunch. Terrell Pryor had a bunch. And we didn't use Forsett too much. I think we only played him in 2 games. He only had 24 yards. And then on the receiving end, Braylon Edwards had 829. If you remember, we signed him as a free agent. Sidney Rice needs to have more yards. Mike Williams needs to have more yards. I distribute the ball way too much. Actually, I don't, because I throw it to Braylon Edwards a lot. But hopefully next season we'll get things going. Our receivers are going to probably look a lot different. I don't remember how long I signed these players to. I think Braylon and Sims Walker is only 1 year. But Doug Baldwin led all receivers with 5 touchdowns. And we'll take a look at blocking. Pancakes, you got Unger. That is the reason he is in the Pro Bowl with only 4 sacks allowed. Robert Gallery, 6 pancakes and 12 sacks allowed. John Moffitt, 2 pancakes and 6 sacks allowed, so that's not even that bad. And Russell Okung, 5 sacks allowed with 1 pancake. And all of our other guys were pretty good, I would have to say. Mark Tauscher, we need to cut him. He did not have a single pancake on the season. And he had 10 sacks allowed. I only signed him because we needed an upgrade at that position. And I like the guy because he played for the Packers. And then defensive end. This is what I don't like. If you're not playing like 15-minute quarters, you're not going to be anywhere near the top of the league in tackles, which always sucks. Actually, you know, we weren't too far off. 92 with Cam Chancellor. Sacks, Chris Clemens, Brian Membane. Stephen Paella, however you say his name, he had 6 sacks on the season, and he didn't even play. He barely played. He might have only played like maybe 6 or 7 downs per game, if that. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. I think I went over things pretty well, and this is already longer than I wanted it to be. So we're at home against the Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna rock the lime green jerseys, and that's gonna be up soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.